So delicious. The county fair announced itself in the air long before you reached the gates. A thick, irresistible swirl of salted butter, sweetness, fire smoke, and the deep, earthy breath of the farm animals drifting in from somewhere just beyond the lights. Hay, manure, sun-soaked wood and metal, all of it folding together into one giant, unmistakable scent that wrapped around you and pulled you in. It was the kind of smell that made your heart burst wide open, your mind come alive with curiosity and adventure. By the time we reached the fairgrounds, the sun was already sliding down behind the trees, turning the whole sky gold and pink like someone had painted it just for tonight. The lights along the booths flickered on one by one, bright bulbs buzzing to life, casting everything in that warm carnival glow. Clowns on stilts wandered past, tossing glitter. A fire eater sent a ribbon of flame curling into the air, and the whole place felt like it was waking up just for us. Grandma Rose nudged Grandpa Alvin and said, "Go on, give each of them $5. He grumbled, but he did it. 3 crisp bills pressed into our hands. Then Grandpa added, "Now don't spend it all on nonsense," which was hilarious because nonsense was literally the only thing the fair sold. Grandma Rose cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted after us, "Be safe and stay together!" It was the kind of warning that didn't stand a chance. Justin took off for the zipper with the confidence only a 10-year-old boy with no sense of mortality can have. Summer and I trailed behind, pretending we weren't terrified of a ride that looked like it was held together with hope and duct tape. By the time we reached the line, we were both shaking so hard it felt like the ground itself was vibrating beneath us. Then the operator waved us forward into a car. Only 2 seats. Summer spotted that instantly. She slipped right under the railing like she'd rehearsed it, planted herself on the other side, and started laughing and waving at me, calling out, "You'll be fine," even though her eyes showed she wasn't so sure. The last thing I heard as I climbed into the cage with Justin, who was already bouncing in his seat like this was the greatest moment of his life, was Summer softly yelling what sounded like, "I'll be praying for you," and I need a bucket. Finally, the ride was over. I checked to see if I was still alive, then waited until my stomach settled before we headed for the food stands. We passed giant smoked turkey legs, corn dogs, caramel and candied apples, shaved ice dripping neon syrup, and popcorn popping in metal drums. Every smell hit us at once, and we made an unspoken pact right there. We were going to eat absolutely everything before we left, even if it meant rolling home. Summer's eyes locked onto the cotton candy machine immediately. "I want the blue one," she said, and within 30 seconds, the cardboard cone was stuck in her hair. "Oh, Summer," I said, trying not to laugh. "I panicked," she said, already trying to pull it out. Justin was no help. He was doubled over, wheezing. We made our way to the pony rides next, because I was absolutely obsessed with horses. The ponies were small, dusty, and perfect. Summer and I climbed on, grinning like we'd just been handed the keys to the universe. Justin leaned on the fence, smirking. "You two look like you're in a shampoo commercial for barn animals." We ignored him and enjoyed the ride. After that, we wandered toward the game booths. Justin dared me to try the shooting gallery, the one with the little metal ducks sliding by and the tin stars spinning. I picked up the rifle, lined up the sights, took a breath. Ping, 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 ping. "Perfect score," the automated voice announced from overhead. Summer squealed so loudly that the booth guy actually jumped as he stood staring at the targets like he'd just witnessed a miracle. You won the big prize, sweetheart." I nodded, trying to act casual even though my heart was pounding. He handed me a giant stuffed bear, nearly as big as I was. Justin stared at me like I'd just revealed a secret identity. "Okay, two-toed Tex," he said. "You're in charge of all dangerous missions from now on." For a while, I thought he was calling me two-toed, like a frog, Tex, and at some point I asked, "Why toad?" That sent him and Summer into a full meltdown, doubled over, wheezing, absolutely losing it. And just like that, I was Toad or Texas Toad for the rest of the night. We finally made our way to the rides, the chatter and music rolling over us in waves as we stepped onto the midway. The Gravitron glued us to the wall like we were made of Velcro, the whole room spinning while Sweet Child of Mine blasted through the speakers, guitar riffs hitting so hard it felt like the ride was trying to shake the bolts loose. The air hummed around us, everything vibrating like it might lift off the ground if it got just one more revolution. The Himalaya was next, already cranked to max volume, blasting "Pour Some Sugar on Me" like the operator was trying to shake the whole fairground awake. We whipped around the corners in fast, dizzy loops, hair flying everywhere, the night turning into a warm blur of color and wind. Justin screamed the whole time, not scared, just loud, like he thought the ride needed backup vocals. Somewhere between rides, Justin nudged me and said, "Come on, Toad, up for another round on the zipper?" "It's toe, and absolutely not." "That's what I said, Toad." Summer nearly fell over laughing, which only made him double down. "Texas Toad reporting for duty." I shoved him, he shoved me back, and it folded into a night like every other dumb joke we lived on. Bumper cars after that. Justin was in heaven, ramming into everyone like he was auditioning for a demolition derby. Sparks snapped overhead, the whole arena buzzing like it was alive and slightly unhinged. Then a giant guy, so big he didn't even fit in the seat correctly, slammed into Justin's car so hard his head snapped back and pop! Out flew his tooth. He held it up triumphantly, grinning like he'd just won a prize. "I was gonna lose it anyway!" And just like that, we stumbled out of the bumper car arena laughing so hard we could barely walk. As the night began winding down, we spotted the funhouse, all crooked mirrors, flashing arrows, and a giant creepy clown painted on the front with a grin way too wide to be friendly. Of course we had to go in. The second we stepped inside, Summer and I got stuck in front of the crazy mirrors, laughing so hard we had to hang on to each other just to stay upright. Our reflections were so warped, we looked like weird cartoon versions of ourselves. My head huge, her legs impossibly long, and every time one of us tried to walk away, the other would start laughing again and pull us right back into it. Justin wandered ahead, pretending he was above it all, until we reached the spinning tube. He made it about halfway through before he froze, just locked up. Then the spinning hit him, and he couldn't stay on his knees. He wobbled, tipped, and ended up flat on his back like a dead bug, arms flailing while the tunnel kept turning around him. Guys! I can't breathe!" Summer and I had to inch our way in, grabbing his arms, trying not to fall ourselves as we hauled him back toward the entrance. "Don't let go!" he yelled. "We're not!" we yelled back. That was the moment we found out Justin had claustrophobia, right there in the middle of a rotating tube while a nightmare clown watched from the wall. After we finally dragged him out, all three of us collapsed against the railing, laughing until our stomachs hurt. As we wandered around, we came across the automated fortune teller, the creepy glass box guy with glowing eyes and a mustache that looked painted on by someone who had never seen a real mustache. Justin swore the machine winked at him. Summer gasped. "I saw it." I rolled my eyes, but secretly, it did look like it moved. Before we left, we each got one of those plastic balloons on a stick, the kind that deflated in 2 days but felt like treasure in the moment. Justin got a tiger. Summer got a unicorn. I picked a gray and white shark with a goofy grin. As the crowds dwindled and we grew tired, we decided to use our last tickets on the Ferris wheel. The 3 of us squeezed into one seat, legs tangled, pieces of cotton candy cones still stuck in Summer's hair, Justin proudly holding his tooth in a napkin, my giant bear wedged between us like a 4th passenger, trying desperately to hold on to our balloons. At the very top, the whole fair stretched out below us, lights twinkling, slow midnight music drifting around us, the warm night air brushing past. "This is the best day ever," Summer said. Justin nodded. I didn't say anything, but I knew she was right.